Hello again, Catherine Anderson from Catherine Anderson Children's Books. Going off in a little direction around the holidays, just to worship our Lord and interesting stories. Today I read a story, it's on patience and non-judgment, and I'd love to read it to you. Once there was an old man who lived in a tiny village. Although poor, he was envied by all, for he owned a beautiful white horse. Even the king coveted his treasure. A horse like this had never been seen before. Such was its splendor, its majesty, and its strength. People offered fabulous prices for the steed, but the old man always refused. "This horse is not a horse to me," he would tell them. "It is a person." "How could you sell a person?" "He is a friend, not a possession. How could you sell a friend?" The man was poor, and the temptation was great, but he never sold the horse. One morning he found that the horse was not in the stable. All the village came to see him. "You old fool," they scoffed. "We told you that someone would steal your horse. We warned you that you would be robbed. You are so poor. How could you ever hope to protect such a valuable animal? It would have been better to have sold him. You could have gotten whatever price you wanted. No amount would have been too high. Now the horse is gone, and you have been cursed with misfortune." The old man responded, "Don't speak too quickly. Say only that the horse is not in the stable. That is all we know. The rest is judgment. If I've been cursed or not, how can you know? Who can judge?" The people contested. "Don't make us out to be fools. We may not be philosophers, but great philosophy is not needed. The simple fact is your horse is gone, and it is a curse." The old man spoke again. "All I know is the stable is empty and the horse is gone. The rest I don't know. Whether it be a curse or a blessing, I can't say. All we can see is a fragment. Only God can see the rest. Who can say what will come next?" The people of the village laughed. They thought the man was crazy. They had always thought he was a fool. If he wasn't, he would have sold the horse and lived off the money, but instead he was a poor woodcutter, an old man still cutting firewood and dragging it out of the forest and selling it. He lived hand to mouth in such poverty. He had now proven he was indeed a fool. After 15 days, the horse returned. He hadn't been stolen. It had been a runaway into the forest. Not only had he returned, he brought a dozen wild horses back with him. Once again, the village people gathered around the woodcutter and spoke. "Old man, you were right. We were wrong. We thought it was a curse. It was a blessing. Please forgive us." The old man responded once again. "You go too far. Say only the horse is back. State only that a dozen horses returned with him, but don't judge. How do you know if this is a blessing or not? You can only see a fragment. Unless you know the whole story, how can you judge? You read only one page of the book. Can you judge the whole book? You read only one word of a phrase. Can you understand the phrase? Life is so vast, yet you judge all of life with one page or one word. All you have is a fragment. Don't say this is a blessing. No one knows. I'm content with what I know. I'm not perturbed by what I don't." "Maybe the old man is right," they said to one another. So they said little, but down deep they knew he was wrong. They knew it was a blessing. 12 wild horses had returned with one horse. With a little bit of work, the animals could be broken and trained and sold for much money. The old man had a son, an only son. The young man began to break the wild horse. After a few days, he fell from the horse and broke both legs. Once again, the villagers gathered around the old man and cast their judgment. "You were right," they said. "You proved you were right. The dozen horses were not a blessing. They were a curse. Your only son has broke his legs, and now you're in your old age and have no one to help you. Now you are poorer than ever." The old man spoke again. "You people are obsessed with judging. Don't go so far. Say only that my son broke his legs. Who knows if it's a blessing or a curse? No one knows. We only have a fragment. Life comes only in fragments." It so happened that a few weeks later, the country engaged in a war against a neighboring country. All the young men of the village were required to join the army. Only the son of the old man was excluded because he was injured. Once again, the people gathered around the old man, crying and screaming because their sons had been taken. There was little chance that they would return. The enemy was strong, and the war would be a losing struggle. They would never see their sons again. You were right, old man, they wept. God knows you were right. This proves it. Your son's accident was a blessing. His legs may be broken, but at least he's with you. Our sons are gone forever. The old man spoke again. It is impossible to talk to you. You always draw conclusions. No one knows. Say only this. Your sons had to go to war and mine did not. No one knows if it's a blessing or a curse. No one is wise enough to know. Only God knows. The old man was right. We only have a fragment. Life, perhaps, mishaps and horrors are only a page of a grand book. We must be slow to draw conclusions. We must reserve judgment on life's storms until we know the whole story. I don't know where the woodcutter learned his patience. Perhaps from another woodcutter in Galilee, Jesus. For it was the carpenter who said it best. Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. He should know he is the author of our story, and he has already written the final chapter. And for those that love the Lord, all things work to good. And remember, fix your eyes on the unseen. For what is seen is temporary, and what is unseen is eternal. Look up to heaven, look up to our Lord. That's our home. I love you, and have a blessed day.